Sang-awit ng Pilipinas.
Kayang magiliw, helas ng sinakanan, alam ng puso, sa titik mo'y buhay. Lupang hinirang, kuya ka ng magiting, sa manlulupin, di ka pasisigil, sa nagatang tutok sa simoy at sa langit mong pagaw, ay hinatang tula, kawin sa paglayang minamahal, ang isang ng matawad mo'y tagumpay na nagkikinig, ang bituin at araw niya kailan pa may di magkikinig. Luma ng araw ng walhati pagsinta, buhay langit sa piling mo. Ang inigaya na pagkay mga amin, ang mamatay ng dahil sa'yo. Subuhan ang kapuputan sa habagatan, kinapusuran lalawigan sa kabisayaan, sa kaalam adunahan, sa among gugmaot lumukan unay halaran. Subuon ang binunyagan sa Kristohanong tinuuan, ipanalipanan kanunay Senyo sa Ruso ninyo, makasaysayanon, maabi-abihon, madanihulog ang ay kagayon nga ipasigarbo. Subo pinangga sa klima ug panahon, kalinaw kauswagan, panutaron palamon, bisan asa mudangan sa among papalingkamon, ikaw amo kanunay lahan lumon, ikaw amo kanunay lahan lumon.
Today we celebrate Blessed Jolenta of Poland. Jolenta, also known as Yolanda, was the daughter of a Hungarian king. Her sister, who went on to become Saint Kunigunda, was married to the Duke of Poland. As a young girl, Jolenta was sent to Poland, where her sister was to supervise her education. Jolenta eventually married the Duke of Greater Poland. She used her material means to assist the poor, the sick, widows, and orphans. Meanwhile, she had a loyal worker at her side. Her husband joined her in building hospitals, convents, and churches so wholeheartedly that he was nicknamed the Pious. Upon the death of her husband and the marriage of two of her daughters, Jolenta and her third daughter entered the convent of the Poor Clares. War forced them to move to another convent where, despite her reluctance, Jolenta was made abbess. She served her Franciscan sisters so effectively by word and example that her fame and good works continued to spread beyond the walls of the cloister. She was especially devoted to the Passion of Christ. Shortly before her death in 1298, Jolenta reported that Jesus appeared to her telling her of her coming death.
Dili lalim ang naagian sa atong mga katigulangan sa pagbawi sa atong kagawasan gikan sa mga langyaw. Nakuha gihapon nato og sukol sa pagpahamtang sa atong pamaagi sa kinabuhi. Diha sa paghunog sa atong kinaiya sa pagtuo, dihande ug uban pa. Maong mo patigbabaw gihapon atong sugilanon ug gawas ning gihapon ang sumbuan. Diha pa lang sa sinugdanan, diha sa atong pag-abi-abi sa mga naabot sa atong lapyahan, di gawas ang atong pagkakita. Atong gipili ang pagtuo nga haom sa atong kinaiya. Musukon kundi kauyon. Pagkaplag kung asa kutob ang pagsalig sa kaugalingon ug sa labang makagagaw. Kabalo nga mo dawat asa kutob ang mahimo ug mudangop sa mga hagi. Kamao mo tago, magpailog, aktibong huwat, ug andam nga musulong sa saktong panahon. Way undang nga musuway sa walay pagpuwas hangtod maangkon ang kadaugan o kagawasan. Ang subuanon, dili malimot sa iyang
kaagi ug mahigugma sa gikabilin sa mga nauna, dili muhunong sa pagsaysay sa iyang sugilanon.
Today on the program,
the history of Gabii Sa Kabilin, or the Night of Heritage, will be thoroughly discussed. The history of our country's independence will be thoroughly discussed. The evolution of our country's flag will be thoroughly discussed.
Tierra dorada, hija del sol de oriente.
With ever-burning V to our souls adore. Hindi simba, yutas mga bayani. Sa mandulupin, di ka pasisingil.
Let's hear the very first languages of our country's anthem, Lupang Hinilang, before it was officially turned into a revised Filipino version. How well do we know about Republic Act number 8491, or the Flag and Heraldic Code of the Philippines? Well, let's further know in our Trivia Express segment. For the first time, IAT Philippines joined Pagpanag-iya vlogging contest, and let's find out the number of visited sites out of 22 participating sites.
Ipaprank natin si Kuya. Ipaprank natin yung kuya ko.
And let's take a look back about my brother Adrian, who was born during the Independence Day celebration. Plus, me and my sister's journey before, during, after the March 2023 licensure exam for teachers and when the results were finally disclosed. Hello, good afternoon, magandang hapon, mayong hapon, buenas tardes, Filipinas, Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao, and outside the Philippines. IAT Philippines begins right now.
Celebrate Cebu, celebrate Cebu, and islands of exciting things for me and for you. Celebrate Cebu, celebrate Cebu, a never-ending festivity. Let's dance and be happy.
Today, June 12th, is the 125th anniversary of our country's independence from Hispanic forces since 1898, where to be exact, our country became a Spanish colony for 333 years. The said annual occasion only started when the late 9th President and the father of holiday economics, Diosdado Macapagal signed the Proclamation No. 28, Series of 1962, declaring June 12 as Independence Day, and Republic Act No. 4166, an act changing the date of Philippine independence from July 4th to June 12th, and declaring July 4th as Philippine Republic Day. The celebration of Independence Day on July 4th began during American colonization. In addition, July 4th is special to the Americans because this is the date when the United States of America became independent from British forces since year 1776. Late President Macapagal defended that the change of date or date swap was made in order to commemorate the late First President Emilio Aguinaldo's original proclamation of Philippine independence from Spain on the same date in year 1898, amid the accusation made by people that he politicized the national regular holiday. On the other hand, the proclamation of Philippine independence made by late President Aguinaldo was formalized with the document Acta de la Proclamación de la Independencia del Pueblo Filipino, or Act of the Proclamation of Independence of the Filipino People, which was read by late Ambrosio Rianzares Bautista. The document, authored by late Bautista, was consisted with 21 pages long and was signed by 98 Filipinos. In late President Macapagal's 1962 Independence Day address, he elaborated on the rationale for the change. The irrefutable claim of June 12 as our day of freedom is bolstered by the fact that it is the culmination of many acts of patriotism and nationalism. June 12, 1898 is pregnant with meaning not only for our people as the birthday of our sovereign nation, but also for the world, since it was our Filipino patriots and leaders, Rizal, Aguinaldo, and Bonifacio, who led the nations of Asia in breaking the chains of colonialism in order that they may breathe the fresh air of individual liberty and national dignity. He viewed the change as a restoration of the legacy of the Filipino struggle for independence against Spain. As we are well aware, such a legacy was disrupted by half a century of the U.S. colonial rule. During the Philippine Centennial celebration, a set of 10 flags were prominently flown over every institution and government-owned buildings. This set of 10 flags became popularly known as the evolution of the Philippine flag. Philippine historians have raised issues and have rightfully challenged the claims of the set of 10 being the evolution of the Philippine flag. According to the Manila Historical Institute and the National Historical Institute, the set of flags, excluding the present-day flag, are rightfully called mga bandila ng Rebolusyong Pilipino, or the flags of the Philippine Revolution. Another issue raised by historians is the fact that these flags merely represent a fraction of the Katipunan battalions. Hence, these flags can hardly be referred to as the flags of the Philippine Revolution. It could only be concluded that calling this set of flags revolution is very misleading, as our present-day flag did not evolve from these Katipunan flag. It is true, however, that some of its features were taken from these flags, but then again, it did not evolve from it. It is also true that the flags of the Katipunan have never taken as a nationally recognized symbol as to represent the Filipino nation. The Katipunan. 3 flags were used by the Katipunan that was believed to be originally sewn by Andres Bonifacio's wife, Gregoria de Jesus, with the aid of Benita Rodriguez. These 3 are the most common variation of the Katipunan flags. The blood red background is the similar features of all three flags, including the letter K to represent the Katipunan. In line with the Boy Scouts of the Philippines, the single K flag is not recognized as part of the PSP's list of evolution of the Philippine flag. The Katipunan Councils. There are two prominent factions of the Katipunan, led respectively by Andres Bonifacio and Emilio Aguinaldo. Both gained support from different sectors of the Katipunan. Bonifacio had his Magdiwang Council, and Aguinaldo had his Magdalo Council. The Magdiwang Council had a sun with 16 rays. It uses the similar red background of the Katipunan flag. Some historians say that the number of rays is indefinite. However, this flag was believed to be the flag present when the Katipuneros tore their cedulas upon their discovery. The Magdalo Council flag also used the sun. It had the pre-Hispanic K superimposed on the center. The sun had 8 rays to represent the first 8 provinces that pledged its support to fight under Aguinaldo's banner and to start the Philippine Revolution. The Revolutionary Government. The leaders of the Katipunan decided to fight under Aguinaldo's banner. Aside from being formally educated, Aguinaldo was winning his battles while Bonifacio was struck by a number of losses. For the same reason, Aguinaldo's flag was said to have become the basis for the design of the new flag of the revolutionary government, the Sun of Liberty. This same revolutionary government was responsible for ordering the execution of Andres Bonifacio. Bonifacio was charged with treason for inciting rebellion against the new government. The flag was approved on March 17th, year 1897 in Naic, Cavite. The battalion flags. One of the most criticized part of the proposed evolution of the Philippine flag is the inclusion of 3 battalion flags of the Katipunan. Historians believe that if these flags were to be included into the evolution, other battalion flags should be considered as well. According to many historians, these flags never took the significance of a national symbol. This flag does not come in any significant order. The first flag was the flag of General Mariano Llanera, who fought in the province of Bulacan, Tarlac, Pampanga, and Nueva Ecija. His flag was most famously called Bungo ni Llanera or Llanera's skull. Unlike most of the Katipunan banners, his was on the black background. The second flag is that of Pio del Pilar, one of the Aguinaldo's most trusted generals. Due to his many victories, his flag was famously called Ang Bandila ng Matagumpay, or the flag of the victorious. Superimposed on the famous red background was a triangle, believed to be an equilateral triangle. Each corner of the triangle bears the letter K, and on the triangle's center is the rising sun with 8 rays. The third and last flag is the flag of Gregorio del Pilar, the youngest general of the Katipunan and fondly called as the Boy General. His flag was patterned after Cuba, already a former Spanish colony at the time. His flag was the first to use 3 colors. The flag took its last stand against the Americans in Tirad Pass, Ilocos Sur, defending the retreating armies of Aguinaldo. The real evolution. During Aguinaldo's exile in Hong Kong, he and the Junta Patriotica, or the Patriotic Council, devised is to be known as the flag to represent the first Philippine Republic. The flag was sewn by Marcela Agoncillo or Marcela Agoncillo, Lorenza Agoncillo or Lorenza Agoncillo, and Delfina Natividad. It was sewn at 353 Marsan Hill in Hong Kong. This same flag was the flag raised during the declaration of the Philippine independence in Kawit, Cavite on June 12, year 1898. Unlike the present-day flag, the original flag had a mythological sun with a face similar to the flag flown by the revolutionary government. by the fall of the First Philippine Republic and when the American colonial power took control of the islands, sedition laws took into effect that banned the display of the flag of the First Republic. It was until year 1919 when the ban was lifted. The flag retained the dimensions of Aguinaldo's flag as well as the mythological sun, but without a face. Historians believe that the original flag used the red and blue colors of the Cuban flag and was changed to the American colors, since the American colors were the only cloth colors available during the era. In year 1936, the Philippines became a Commonwealth of the United States of America. By executive order, Commonwealth President Manuel Luis Quezon specified the dimensions of the flag, which became the standardized specification of the flag followed up to the present time. Debates rages on. The color blue on the flag is one of the topics being debated by historians. The list of blues includes the Cuban blue, dark blue, sky blue, navy blue or the American blue, and the Yale blue. The American blue was the shade used for most of the flag's lifetime as a national symbol and was changed during the Marcos era into sky blue, but was reverted back to the American blue during the Aquino administration. That was the Cory Aquino administration. As a resolution to the moot point, the Philippine Centennial Commission officially changed the shade to royal blue in year 1998. The religious sector debates the sun as being a Christian symbol. Many believe that a crescent moon should be added to symbolize the Muslims and a budong cane as well to represent the native Cordillera people. A recent addition to the debate is the proposal to add a ninth ray to the sun to represent the Muslim nation and the native Cordillera people who fought for independence from Spanish colonial rule. Also, the late statesman Blas Ople, serving as Foreign Affairs Secretary, called on historians and constitutionalists to include Quezon Province as one of the provinces represented in the rays of the sun. He cited the historical battle on the Confradia de San Jose, a group organized by Apolinario Hermano Pule de la Cruz, who won a battle against Spanish authorities on October 23, year 1841.
Tierra dorada, hija del sol de oriente, su fuego ardiente en ti latiendo está. Tierra de amores, del heroísmo cuna, los invasores no te hollarán jamás. En tu azul cielo, en tus auras, en tus montes y en tu mar, esplende y late el poema de tu amada libertad. Tu pabellón que en las tires la victoria iluminó, no verán nunca apagados sus estrellas ni su sol. Tierra de dichas, de sol y amores, en tu regazo dulces vivir. Es una gloria para tus hijos cuando te ofenden por ti morir.
Land of the morning, child of the sun returning, with fervor burning, thee do our souls adore. Land dear and holy, cradle of noble heroes, ne'er shall invaders trample thy sacred its shores, ever within the skies and through the clouds and all the hills and seas, do we behold the ravens, feel the throb of glorious liberty. Thy banner dear to all our hearts, its sun and stars alike. Oh, never shall its shining fields be dim by tyrant's might. Beautiful land of love, oh land of light, in thy embrace this rapture to lie. But it is glory ever when thou art grown, for as thy sons to suffer and die.
Yutang tamulong, mutyang nga masilakon, putling bahandi, amok ang di mahal. Nit hindi simba, yutas mga bayani, sa manupigon, pagkadapigan ka, ang mga bungtod buong lapyahan, ang langit mong bagaw, nagahulat sa awit landag sa kaliwatang gawas. Siyaw sa adlaw ug bituon sa nasudnong bandila, nagatimaan nga buhion ta ang atong pagkausap. Yutang maanyag duyan ka sa pagmahal, landong sa langit ang dunghan mo. Pagkatapiso na bukod maulibon ka, ang namatayon sa ngalan mo. Bayang magiliw, pero sa silanganan, alam ng puso, sa dibdib mo'y buhay. Lupang hinirang, duyan ka ng magiliw, sa manlulupi, kita masisingil, sa lagat at bundok, sa simoy at sa langit mo bahaw. Nagilang ang tula at awit sa paglayang tinawaan, ang isang ng watawat mo'y nagumpay na nagiging, ang bituin at araw niya kailan magpapay magdidilim. Lupa ng araw ng maraming pagsita, kaya langit sa likod. Aming ligaya na may mamagin, at namatay ng tayo sa'yo.
The development of the Philippine National Anthem into what it is today took several years. It began in year 1898 with Julian Felipe's composition titled Marcha Nacional Filipina, or also known as Himno Nacional Filipino. In year 1899, Jose Palma's poem Filipinas was used as lyrics, which were later translated into English in the 1920s. Then it was translated into Filipino in year 1956. And the version which is now sung publicly is a product of revisions made in year 1962. At this point, let us all witness and hear the versions of our country's national anthem made possible by Der Clavier Musikier, which was uploaded on YouTube on June 12, year 2021.
Dorada, hija del sol de oriente, su fuego ardiente en ti latiendo está. Tierra de amores, del heroísmo cuna, los invasores no te hollarán jamás. En tu azul cielo, en tus auras, en tus montes y en tu mar, esplende y late el poema de tu amada libertad. Tu pabellón que en las lides la victoria iluminó, no verá nunca apagado sus estrellas y su sol. Tierra de dichos, del sol y amores, en tu regazo dulce es vivir. Es una gloria para tus hijos. cuando te ofenden por ti morir. Land of the morning, child of the sun returning, with fervor burning, thee do our souls adore. Land dear and holy, cradle of noble heroes, ne'er shall invaders trample thy sacred shores. Ever within thy skies and through the clouds and o'er thy hills and sea, do we behold the radiance, feel the throb of glorious liberty. Thy banner dear to all our hearts, its sun and stars alight. Oh, never shall in shining fields be dimmed by tyrants' might. Beautiful land of love, oh land of light, in thy embrace is rapture to lie. But it is glory ever when thou art wrong, for as thy sons do suffer and die. O land beloved, child of the sunny Orient, whose ardent spirit ever burns in thy breast. O land of beauty, cradle of valiant warriors, tyrant oppressors never will daunt thy sons. On thy blue seas and verdant hills and in thy winds and azure skies, the immortal voice of liberty we hear in ringing song arise. On thy dear banner that has led thy sons to victory in the fight, forever shall its sun and stars uncloud and shine in golden light. Philippines, O land beloved of the sun, on thy dear bosom life is sweet. But in the hour when man must die for thee, gladly our lives will lay at thy feet. O sintang lupa, perlas ng silanganan, diwang apoy kung saraw nagmula. Lupang magiliw, pugad ng kagitingan, sa manlulupig may pamuksang handa. Sa dagat mo't mga bundok, sa bughawang mapawirin, kumikislap, pumipitlag ang layang di magmamaliw. Watawat mong kung may digma sa tagumpay pamanglawin, kailan may dilalam lang ang araw niya't bituin. Sa iyo lupa ng ligaya't pagsinta, ay kahit namis ng mabuhay. Tatapat langit namin ang dahil sa'yo, kumapihi magpakamatay. Lupang mapalad na mo dyan ang silangan, bayang kasuyo ng sangkalikasan. Buhay at yaman ng kapilipinuhan, buhat pawi sa banyagang kamay. Sa iyong langit, bundok, patis, dagat na pinalubig, nailibing na ang karimlan ng kahapong pagtitiis. Sakit at luha, hirap, sisa at sumpa sa bagaamis, ay wala ng lahat at naligtas sa ibig man lupit. Hayot magdiwang lahi kong minamahal, iyong matawat ang siyang tanglaw. At kung sakaling ikaw ay muling pagbantaan, aming bagay ang siyang hahadlang. O sintang lupa, perlas ng silanganan, diwang apoy kang saraw nagmula. Lupang magiliw, pugad ng kagitingan, sa manlulupig di ka papaslang. Sa iyong langit simoy parang dagat at kabundukan, laganap ang tibok ng puso sa paglayang walang hanggan. Sa gisag ng watawat mong mahal, ningning at tagumpay, araw at bituin niyang maalab ang siyang lagi naming tanglaw. Sa iyo lupa ng ligaya't pagsinta, tamis mabuhay na yakap mo. Tatapat langit din kung ikaw ay apihin, ay mamatay ng dahil sa'yo. magiliw, perlas ng silanganan, alab ng puso, sa dibdib mo'y buhay. Lupang hinirang, duyan ka ng magiting, sa manlulubig, di ka pa sisiil, sa dagat at bundok, sa simoy at sa langit mong bukhaw. May dilagang tula at awit sa paglayang minamahal, ang islap ng watawat mo'y tagumpay na nagdiningning. Ang bituin at araw niyang kailan pa may di magdidilim. Lupa ng araw ng luwalhating pagsinta, buhay ay langit sa piling mo. Aming ligaya ng paghay mga api, ang mamatay ng dahil sa'yo.
Coming up next.
How well do we know about Republic Act number 8491 or the Flag and Heraldic Code of the Philippines? Well, let's further know in our Trivia Express segment.
Ipaprank natin si Kuya. Ipaprank natin yung kuya ko.
And let's take a look back about my brother Adrian, who was born during the Independence Day celebration. Plus, me and my sister's journey before, during, after the March 2023 licensure exam for teachers, and when the results were finally disclosed.
More stories coming your way when IAT Philippines returns.
Señor San Jose, matarong kagayot, ang imong kinabuhi, santos nga matuod. O Señor San Jose, makita kang takos, kamu may magbalantay sa bata nga si Jesus. O Señor San Jose, esposo nga puti, sa inangan sa Diyos, putliyon mo kami. O Señor San Jose, bantayan mo kami sa among kamatay, tabangan mo kami.
The season of ordinary time is where nothing else is scheduled on Sundays. The season consists of two in-between periods. One is short period between Christmas season and the beginning of Lenten season, while the other is the long period between the Pentecost and the first Sunday of Advent. The Sundays within this season are called Sundays of the year. This is where the Holy Spirit, the third person of the Holy Trinity, helps us to remember that ordinary days are important. The season of ordinary time is usually symbolized by color green, the sign of hope. The Republic Act No. 8491, or Flag and Heraldic Code of the Philippines, is an act prescribing the code of the national flag, national anthem, motto, coat of arms, and other heraldic items and devices of the Philippines. The said Republic Act is consisted with 8 chapters and 55 sections. The first 3 sections were titled Section 1, the short title. This act shall be known as the Flag and Heraldic Code of the Philippines. Section 2, Declaration of Policy. Reverence and respect shall at all times be accorded the flag, the anthem, and other national symbols which embody the national ideals and traditions and which express the principles of sovereignty and national solidarity. The heraldic items and devices shall seek to manifest the national virtues and to inculcate in the minds and hearts of our people a just pride in their native land, fitting respect and affection for the national flag and anthem, and the proper use of the national motto, coat of arms, and other heraldic items and devices. Section 3, Definition of terms. Whenever used in this act, the terms military, festoon, flag, fly, symbol, half-mast, hoist, inclement weather, national anthem, official residences, places of frivolity, and institute. The first chapter, the national flag, is consisted with 9 parts, namely, Part A, Design of the National Flag, consisted with Section 4. This is where our country's flag shall be blue, white, and red with an 8-rayed golden yellow sun and 3 5-pointed stars as consecrated and honored by the people. Part B, Hoisting and Display of the National Flag, consisted with Sections 5 to 17. Under Section 5, the flag shall be displayed in all public buildings, official residences, public plazas, and institutions of learning every day throughout the year. Under Section 6, the flag shall be permanently hoisted day and night throughout the year in front of these following places, namely, Malacanang Palace, Congress of the Philippines Building, Supreme Court Building, the Rizal Monument in Luneta, Manila, Aguinaldo Shrine in Kawit, Cavite, Barasuain Shrine in Malolos, Bulacan, the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier, Libingan ng mga Bayani, Mausoleo de los Veteranos de la Revolucion, all international ports of entry, and all other places as may be designated by the Institute. The flag shall be properly illuminated at night. Under Section 7, the flag shall also be displayed in private buildings and residences or raised in the open flag staffs in front of the said buildings every April 9 for Araw ng Kagitingan, May 1 for Labor Day, May 28 until June 12 for National Flag Days, last Sunday of August for the National Heroes Day, November 30 for Bonifacio Day, December 30 for Rizal Day, and on such other days as may be declared by the President and or local chief executives. Under Section 10, the flag, if flown from a flagpole, shall have its blue field on top in a time of peace, and a red field on top in a time of war. If in a hanging position, the blue field shall be to the right, left of the observer in time of peace, and the red field to the right, left of the observer in the time of war. The flagpole staff must be straight and slightly tapering at the top. Under Section 12, when the Philippine flag is flown with another flag, the flags, if both are national flags, must be flown on separate staff of the same height and shall be of equal size. The Philippine flag shall be hoisted first and lowered last. If the other flag is not a national flag, it may be flown in the same line yard as the Philippine flag but below the latter, and it cannot be of greater size than the Philippine flag. Under Section 13, when displayed with another flag, the Philippine flag shall be on the right of the other flag. If there is a line of the other flags, the Philippine flag shall be in the middle of the line. When carried in a parade with flags which are not national flags, the Philippine flag shall be in front of the center of the line. Under Section 14, a flag worn out through wear and tear shall not be thrown away. It shall be solemnly burned to avoid misuse or desecration. The flag shall be replaced immediately when it begins to show signs of wear and tear. Under Section 16, the flag may be displayed A. Inside or outside a building or on a stationary flagpost. If the flag is displayed indoors on a flagpole, it shall be placed at the left of the observer as one enters the room. B. From the top of the flagpole, which shall be at the prominent place or a commanding position in relation to the surrounding buildings. C. From a staff projecting upward from the window sill, canopy, balcony, or facade of a building. D. In a suspended position from a rope extending from a building to pole erected away from the building. E. Flat against the wall vertically with the sun and stars on top. And F. Hanging in a vertical position across the street with a blue field pointing east if the road is heading south or north, or pointing north if the road is heading east or west. The flag shall not be raised when the weather is inclement. If already raised, the flag shall not be lowered. Under Section 17, the flag shall be hoisted to the top briskly and lowered ceremoniously. The flag shall never touch anything beneath it. After being lowered, the flag shall be handled and folded solemnly as part of the ceremony. Part C. Conduct of Flag Raising Ceremony consisted with Sections 18 and 22. This is where all government offices and educational institutions shall henceforth observe the flag-raising ceremony every Monday morning and the flag-lowering or the flag retreat ceremony every Friday afternoon. The ceremony shall be simple and dignified and shall include the playing or singing of the Philippine National Anthem. During the flag-lowering, the flag shall be lowered solemnly and slowly so that the flag shall be down the mast at the sound of the last note of the anthem. Those in the assembly shall observe the same deportment or shall observe the same behavior as for the flag-raising ceremony. In the other hand, the observance of the flag ceremony and official or civic gatherings shall be simple and dignified and shall include the playing or the singing of the national anthem in its original Filipino lyrics in march tempo. Part B. The half-mast. This is where the flag shall be flown at half-mast as a sign of mourning on all buildings and places where it is displayed, as provided for in this Act, on the day of official announcement of the death of any of the following officials. A. The President or a former President for 10 days. B. The Vice President, the Chief Justice, the President of the Senate, and the Speaker of the House of Representatives for 7 days. And C. For the other persons to be determined by the late Institute for any period less than 7 days. The flag shall be flown at half-mast on all the buildings and places where the decedent was holding office on the day of death until the day of interment of an incumbent member of the Supreme Court, the Cabinet, the Senate, or the House of Representatives, and such other persons as may be determined by the Institute. The flag, when flown at half-mast, shall be first hoisted to the peak for a moment, then lowered to the half-mast position. The flag shall be again be raised briskly to the peak before it is lowered for the day. Part E, the casket, consisted with Section 24. This is where the flag may be used to cover the caskets of the honored death of the military, veterans of previous wars, national artists, and of civilians who have rendered distinguished service to the nation, as may be determined by the local government unit concerned. In such cases, the flag shall be placed such that the white triangle shall be at the head, and the blue portion shall cover the right side of the caskets. The flag shall not be lowered to the grave or allowed to touch the ground, but shall be folded solemnly and handed over to the heirs of the deceased. Part F, Pledge to the National Flag, consisted with Section 25. This pledge is commonly known as Panunumpa ng Katapatan sa Watawat ng Pilipinas, which shall be recited while standing with the right hand palm open raised shoulder high. Individuals whose faith or religious beliefs prohibit them from making such pledge must nonetheless show full respect when the pledge is being rendered by standing at attention. Part G, Flag Days, consisted with Section 26, stating that the period from May 28th to June 12th of each year is declared as Flag Days, during which period all offices, agencies, and instrumentalities of government, business establishments, institutions of learning, and private homes are enjoined to display the flag. This is to commemorate our flag's first appearance on May 28, year 1898, where, historically, our very first country's flag was sewn in Hong Kong by Marcela Agoncillo, with her daughter Lorenza and the niece of Dr. Jose Rizal, Delfina Natividad, while our country's first president, Emilio Aguinaldo, was in exile. Part H, Specifications of the National Flag, consisted with Sections 27 to 33. These sections emphasize the exactness of the proportion and the prescribed clothing to use for making our country's flag, further recommendations, approval, and other technicalities. Part I, Prohibited Acts, consisted with Section 34. The second chapter, the National Anthem, is consisted with Sections 35 to 39. The third chapter, the National Motto, is consisted with Section 40, the Makadiyos, Makatao, Makakalikasan, at Makabansa. These four Filipino words of the national motto can be heard as the last four words upon reciting the Panunumpa ng Katapatan sa Watawat ng Pilipinas. The fourth chapter, the National Coat of Arms, is consisted with Section 41. The fifth chapter, the Great Seal, is consisted with Sections 42 to 43. The sixth chapter, Official Seals in Other Heraldic Items and Devices, is consisted with Sections 44 to 47. The seventh chapter, Penalties, is consisted with Sections 48 to 50. And lastly, the eighth chapter, Common Provision, is consisted with last five sections 51 to 55. The Republic Act No. 8491 is a consolidation of Senate Bill No. 630 and House Bill No. 2586, which was finally passed by the Senate and House of Representatives on February 3rd, year 1998 and February 6th of the same year respectively, and was approved by the late 12th President Fidel Ramos, February 12th of the same year. To read the whole content of Republic Act No. 8491, please simply click the link as provided within this video's caption. The Philippines was first divided into 13 regions when the late 10th President Ferdinand Adrian Marcos Sr., the longest reigning president from 1965 until 1986, signed these 4 presidential decrees. September 24th, year 1972, days after the martial law declaration on September 21st under Proclamation number 1081, the Philippines was first divided into 11 regions when he signed Presidential Decree number 1. These 11 regions were Region 1 for the Ilocos region, Region 2 for the Cagayan Valley region, Region 3 for Central Luzon region, Region 4 for Southern Tagalog region, Region 5 for Bicol region, Region 6 for Western Visayas region, Region 7 for Central Visayas region, Region 8 for Eastern Visayas region, Region 9 for Western Mindanao region, Region 10 for Northern Mindanao region, and Region 11 for Southern Mindanao region. 3 years and 10 months later, on July 7th, year 1975, he signed Presidential Decree number 742 for adding Region 12, the Central Mindanao region. Six months later, on January 23rd, year 1976, he signed Presidential Decree number 879 for separating Metro Manila from its mother region, Region 4. 4 years and 4 months later, on June 2nd, year 1978, he signed Presidential Decree number 1396 for creating the National Capital Region. After the late President Marcos Sr. signed 4 mentioned presidential decrees, the late 11th and first woman president, Maria Corazon Juanco Aquino, added 2 regions under 1 executive order and 1 Republic Act. 9 years and 1 month later, on July 15th, year 1987, year after the first EDSA revolution, and 5 months after the effectivity of the 1987 Constitution, she signed Executive Order number 220 for creating the Cordillera Administrative Region. Two years later, on August 1st, year 1989, she signed the Republic Act number 6734 for creating the Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao, or the Autonomous Region of Muslim Mindanao. 3 months later, on November 26th of the same year, the said Republic Act was subsequently ratified in a plebiscite. After the late President Corazon Aquino signed 1 executive order and 1 Republic Act, the late 12th President Fidel Valdez Ramos signed Republic Act number 7901 on February 23rd, year 1995 for creating Region 13, the Caraga region. The acronym Caraga stands for Central Agusan Regional Administrative and Geographical Administration. Six years later, on September 19th, year 2001, the 14th and the second woman president, Gloria Macapagal Arroyo, signed Executive Order number 36 for reorganizing 3 regions in Mindanao, namely Region 9 for Zamboanga Peninsula, Region 11 for Davao Region, Region 12 for Staff Sergeant. Seven months later, on May 17th, year 2002, she signed Executive Order number 103 for dividing Region 4 into 4A for Calabarzon and 4B for Mimaropa. Controversially, the late 15th President Benigno Simeon Juanco Aquino III and the 16th President Rodrigo Roa Duterte made their own executive orders. The late President Benigno Aquino III signed Executive Order number 183 on May 29th, year 2015 for creating the Negros Island region, separating Negros Occidental from Region 6 and Negros Oriental from Region 7, while President Duterte signed Executive Order number 38 on August 7th, year 2017 for abolishing Negros Island region and for returning Negros Occidental and Negros Oriental to its mother regions. And lastly, on July 27th, year 2018, President Duterte signed Republic Act number 11054 for establishing the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao, or Bangsamoro Autonomous Region of Muslim Mindanao, or BARM, and for effectively replacing the former ARM, or ARMM. The law was ratified in a plebiscite on January 25th, 2019.
Ipaprank natin si Kuya. Ipaprank natin yung kuya ko.
Adrian Nino, the name given from names Rito Jr. and Annalisa, and was named in honor of the Holy Child Jesus, Señor Santo Niño. According to Very Well Family website, the name Adrian comes from Latin word which means son of Adria, and a form of a Roman name Adrianus or Hadrianus, which means from Hadria, a town from northern Italy near the Adriatic Sea, while the name Niño comes from Spanish word which means the male child or the boy child. Meanwhile, in Charlie's Names website, the name Adrian ranked the 448th as the most popular names of 2023. In the other hand, the name Niño ranked the 1,176th spot.
Hello, happy birthday, Adrian. I wish you all the best in life and always take care. God bless.
Hello there, Adrian. Your kuya here. Happiest birthday to you. More birthdays to come and padayon lang sa imong dream job or dream course in the future. God bless you as always.
One day.
Something original, be
Coming up next.
The history of Gabii Sa Kabilin, or the Night of Heritage, will be thoroughly discussed. For the first time, IAT Philippines joined Pagpanag-iya vlogging contest, and let's find out the number of visited sites out of 22 participating sites.
IAT Philippines will be right back after the break.